Hello ladies and gents, my name is Nisim. This is my first video review. I'm going to make a video review, a very short video review. I'm going to talk about a little bit of the features in the iOS 7 Beta 6 that was launched a few days back to Apple's programmers. I'm not a programmer per se, but I do have the version on my device, and I want to talk a little bit about it. I want to talk about what's not good about the version yet and why I do not recommend to upgrade, not yet at least. And after we're gonna be done talking about that, I wanna add a few more things about the rumors on the iPhone 5s or 6 that are supposed to be launched very soon. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is, first of all, I want to give a quick look on the iOS 7. Okay, it's on the iPhone 5. It's pretty nice. I'm just gonna put my code. It's pretty nice. It's a different user experience all at once. You can tell that Apple didn't leave anything similar from the other operating systems from the other iOS that we were familiar with so far, which is pretty awesome. I can tell you that there's a lot of different things. For instance, we have a control center. Control centers comes from the bottom of the screen, which provides you a few options that are pretty awesome. You can quickly decide if you want Bluetooth or not, if you want to lock, rotate, sleeping mode, Wi-Fi, volume, brightness, stuff like that. One more option that you can see right next to my finger right here is the flashlight. Apple added a flashlight, a built-in flashlight inside the software, so that means from now on you don't need to go to video just to make a flashlight. One more thing that Apple did in the new version of the iOS is that they'll release the notification center from the lock screen. That I don't think that's so good. You see, I have a passcode, and I was able to just open my notification center without a passcode, which probably means that privacy is not the strongest part for this feature, which is not positively, which is not necessarily a positive thing. So I would not recommend that matter, and I would not. I didn't like it personally. Okay, another thing is that Apple did a multitasking feature. The multitasking feature is pretty awesome. That means that from now on, when you click twice on the home button, okay, you will see the screen becomes something very similar to what some of us know from the OS X operating systems. When you browse between windows, all the features of the Magic Pad, the tracking pad, the Magic Pad, all the features that we know from it. Now you got it on the iPhone, which makes it even easier to close applications. You can just hold an application with your finger, throw it up, and that's it. The application is closed. The same thing you can do to after your application. It's really fast. You don't need to wait time and start locking things up, which is really nice. And that's the second really recommended thing that I really liked. Siri is a bit different, just the user experience. Yeah, I think she knows a bit more things. She knows how to turn on and off Bluetooth. She knows how to do a few more things, but it's not that serious. Most things that you will find in the iOS 7 are going to be different. The user experience is different, and the photos, albums, all of it is different. Even the camera is different, which is an advantage, a huge advantage on the previous iOS systems. The camera gives you a lot of options, focus in, and a square photo. You can just play with a square photo, panoramic photo, and as you can tell, video of course. And when you take a regular photo, it gives you just a second. Just a second. Okay. When you take a regular photo of anything, which doesn't really matter what, this is my hand on the background. Okay, so you can actually play with the theme that you want to take for the photo and filter, basically, like Instagram. You can just filter the photo before you take it, which is nice. Then afterwards, when you edit it, it just becomes, I think, more professional, or, you know, according to what you like to take in photos. It gives way more options for photographers to use way more stuff in order to edit their photos, which is nice. Basically, weather is a bit different, just user experience wise. Messages also the same thing, user experience wise. There's not too much differences in the iOS 7. I wanna just talk about some of the rumors that people said there were gonna be. Okay, Maps maybe not yet because it's not the final version, but Maps does not have any street view option. It does not exist. And you know, I'm pretty sure that the 5S or 6 are gonna have some different features as far as um, much more advanced stuff that they usually add every year to the new iPhone. But still, as far as the iPhone 5, that's supposed to be the last version of the iPhone, which is supposed to run most of the features of the iOS 7. I can tell you that the iOS 7 is very, very simple to understand, very, very like the iOS 6. Just the user experience is a bit different, and it's really nice. I don't know if I don't know if somebody noticed in the beginning of the video, but when I started the video, it's less than 5 minutes. The battery was on 10%. This is one of the biggest faults right now for the iOS 7. This is the biggest reason why I don't recommend upgrading to the iOS 7. The battery life right now is it's very short, and if you can tell, it's on 1% right now, which means it just dropped 10% in less than 6 minutes, which is insane. It's not supposed to be like that, and the battery life is pretty crazy. Sometimes it takes a whole day to charge it, sometimes it takes a few hours to charge it, but when it does get to a high percentage of battery, it still just drops very, very fast. You can work with it for 1 hour, it's just going to drop the whole battery life, and it usually just sticks on 1% for a long time. It just seems like the phone lies to itself. The phone just goes to 1%, it tells itself that it's on 1%, it's not really. Maybe it has maybe like 30-40% battery, but this is what it shows itself. So this is not a good thing. I would not recommend taking the risk right now. Usually not if you're not a programmer or you don't actually need the iOS 7 Beta 6, and that's another thing. If we talk about a few more stuff, is the applications themselves. Basic applications like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all the social networking are basically slower. Okay, which means most people would not understand the differences, but I guess because I worked with a lot of processors before, I can tell you that the responding time for applications is way slower, and you can feel it. I also hope this is something that Apple is gonna solve in the new version, in the final version of the iOS 7. Now, one last thing that I want to say. So it goes like this. I don't recommend anybody right now, whether you have the choice or don't have the choice, whether you know how to do it or don't know how to do it, I would not recommend anyone at this point to upgrade to iOS 7 because of those features that still don't work, or the battery life, or anything like that, because it's not final yet. I would not recommend. Even when the final version comes out, I would recommend waiting a little bit for reviews from programmers, waiting for reviews from other users. There's always the first users that are going to take the first jump in the water, so you just need to see what they're writing on it, see how they're responding to it, what the final version is going to fix. The bugs right now, the battery bug is really, really annoying. I personally didn't upgrade anybody from my family because I do not believe that this is the right thing to do right now. Okay, so that's another thing. Now I want to talk about one last thing, is the 5S or 6 that's supposed to come out in September. First of all, Apple has a competition, which means Samsung is launching 2 other devices in the beginning of September, and Sony is launching the new Xperia in the beginning of September as well, which is not a good thing for Apple. It's just a move that it's just a step that usually the big companies are making to confuse Apple's future buyers or Apple's current users, to change devices and to experience a new market. Maybe the camera, they're focusing on a few more things. I'm not talking about the 5S rumors and stuff like that. I'll just say that, sorry, that there's a lot of nice rumors on a lot of nice features. They say that security-wise, it's going to be face recognition or fingerprints. They say that the devices are going to come in gold and champagne colors on the back, and the front is only going to be white. And they say a lot of things in the rumors. What I do know about Apple, that most of the time, most of the rumors are right, and they're kind of linked out from the company. So this is the reason why they're right. And what we are looking forward right now is a very, very big change. If you ask me, to the first iPhones, the first iPhone, second iPhone, 3G, 3GS, 4S, and we kind of see, we can tell that there's a lot of differences between the way that Steve Jobs used to make the iPhones and then the iPhone 5 came along. And the iPhone 5 had a bigger screen, which means it started competition in the market. It just seems like Apple wanted to go into the market with the other phones. And I think the only thing that made Apple so special is because they went on a different direction from the market, which pretty much is ruined right now, because Apple is going back on their directions. They're just going inside a market that we all know and familiar with, the one that most of Apple users just don't want to be a part of. And this is something that, as an Apple user, and Mac user, and iPhone user, iPad user, I do not personally like. I do not personally appreciate. I think Apple should go back to the think different technique. The last time Steve Jobs left the company, Apple almost dropped completely, and then he came back, and now he's dead. So I wouldn't take a risk of because you can't bring him back anymore, and it's really rare to have somebody with this line of thought in his mind. So I would recommend all of Apple users to think twice before upgrading. That's first. Second of all, I would recommend Apple's team to continue in different kind of a line of products. Go back to the original Think Different system, which worked perfectly for Apple. Go back to being different from the market. Don't if the tablets go on 7-inch screen, you don't need to make a mini iPad. That's not what you do. This is not Apple. Apple is doing just the opposite. Apple is going to make a different, bigger iPad just to show the market that they're different and they're better. And I really hope all of you are going to make the smart decision about iOS 7 and the new iPhone. If somebody bought the iPhone 5, I don't see why it's even necessary to upgrade this year. I would wait for the next iPhone a year afterwards, and that's it. I wish you all the best, all the luck. I hope all of you can subscribe, watch my next videos, give a like if you like, and share it. Bye bye.